So I hated myself so much that I did not care. I did not bother how I looked. They were just curious. They were just not like real friends. They were just there to, get some gossip
Maybe
out of it.
maybe to show off others
But
that, hey, I'm friends with I'm friends with this
of
guy.
course, I think I have bigger dreams now. I want to judge all of this now.
Hi Avika, welcome to Pink Villa. First of all, how have you been?
I'm doing great. I've been busy trying to stay safe. Yeah.
Your journey has been amazing, right? You started as a child artist, but I think what sets you apart from the other child artists is that you were idolized by people, right? Like your character became so popular that they almost started treating you like as a demigoddess or something of that sort. But at the end, you were a kid, right? So did you feel the pressure of that image as a kid? Because there were many child artists, but none of them were able to get the fame that you got.
I think I was really busy enjoying the whole process of being in front of the camera. I didn't really understand or even think about what people were thinking and how they were treating me. I was just so curious and so happy all the time being on the sets and working with such amazing actors. For me, it was more like like everybody has this different hobby. For me, acting became a hobby, and I was just having fun. I didn't really care what people were thinking.
I see. You have also started working in the South and you have done some amazing films that have been successful, and now you have turned a producer. Um, what didn't you expect about being a producer? Like you thought, I didn't see it coming, but now I have to do it. Because being a producer is tough.
I think yes, being a producer is definitely tough. Um, as an actor, I think I was, you know, always very humble in terms of giving extra time to my producers and all of that. But after becoming a producer, I think I've realized that how important it was. How that half an hour extra made so much, it added so much value to the project. So I just realize these things, and when I talk to my actor friends, and when I tell them that what just giving 30 minutes extra to our producers doesn't hurt too much to us, but I think we should do it. I think it's just something that I realize it's very very small as a when I look at filmmaking. 30 minutes don't really make a lot of difference, but to a producer it does. So I realize these little things during the production process, and I really think for a producer, it's not just about making a movie, but also about selling the movie and the whole process of making sure people also like it so that you continue your production with the different kind of movies. So it's a never ending process, and I'm really, really enjoying this.
You spoke about your weight loss journey and you spoke about how you were not happy to see yourself when you had gained the weight and everything. I just want to know that was it the worst period of your life, and what did it teach you? What did it tell um, you about yourself?
I don't know. I didn't look at it that way. I thought it was the best because I realized so many things. Whenever I used to feel sad looking at myself in the mirror, I just thought, okay, this is what I'm feeling right now. Maybe I can change what I feel for myself the next minute, and let me just do something about it. So my whole perspective towards it was very, very positive, and the way I made sure that I don't give up in the whole process of transformation, because there are times when you're trying your hard, you're working out, you're eating healthy, you're doing everything, but after a point you just stop losing weight because your body is so used to the kind of workouts you're doing. So I also had those phases, and I also kind of lost patience, and I realized that it's okay, I'm human, it's normal, but let me just give in more 100%, and let's see what happens then. So the whole process was pretty it was hard. It was very hard to maintain that positivity in your mind, because we all have insecurities, we all have those moments where you do not want to do what you're doing because it's hard. And I realized that it's okay, and I realized that if I don't do it now, I don't think I'll ever do it. So I put that hard full stop there, and I had to do something about it. So I went on this journey of transformation, and it wasn't just physical, it was mental, it was emotional. I felt good about myself after doing it, and it was a long process. It took me almost a year and a half to be the most happiest self and be very satisfied with the way I look. It took me time, but I'm very proud of it.
Were you always comfortable looking at yourself at the camera because you have grown up in front of people, right? And there are phases in
Yeah.
everybody's life when you reach teenage or adolescence, and there are times and a few months or a few periods of time when you feel like, oh my god, what's happening to my skin? Oh my god, why am I looking like this? Oh my god, why am I bloated? So it must have been tough for you because now it was happening in front of the world. And how did you deal with that? Because I was speaking to Tamanna Bhatia, who also started working at the age of 14. She also mentioned the same thing, that sometimes I used to feel that my face is looking slim, sometimes it was acne, sometimes my face is bloated, and I was like, oh my god, why is it happening in front of everybody? How did you deal with that?
So I hated myself so much that I did not care. I did not bother how I looked. I was just focusing on my acting, and I didn't care. I just didn't want to look in the mirror. I hated myself so much. So it was a very negative feeling that I used to get. Like, I remember trying on costumes for my, a shoot next day, and I just felt like, whatever. I didn't bother about all of those things. I didn't want to look the best. I didn't feel like looking the best. That is the reason it did not really bother me the way I looked or anything, because at the end of the day, whenever I spoke to my audience, they always actually spoke about the way I acted. So my audience really made me feel that I was doing a good job at acting, and it didn't really make me focus on anything else. uh, in this whole process, I had amazing fans who very nicely, politely, without any trolling, they made me realize that, Avika, maybe you are, acting a little lazy. Maybe you can work hard towards it. Maybe you can work out very nicely. And when I say nicely, I remember they don't not even commenting on my pictures, but actually sending me DMs just to make sure that it's not, in front of people, and just like a private message. So I
That's so
had these
lovely.
kind, beautiful fans, and they made me feel so good about this, that, we have phases, and maybe I'm going through something, and maybe, I should look at something uh, positively. And if I do, I might just reach somewhere else. I was doing great in TV. I was so happy with the characters I was getting, and, everything was just perfect. But I also realized that then there must be some growth. There must be some big step that I take in my career that, makes me, fall in love with the work I do. I obviously love going to the set every day, but at the end of the day, it's the same character you're playing every day. How much would you do different as an actor? You like challenges, right? So, it just felt incomplete. But when I started to do something about it, when I started to, work towards my physique, and also the way I felt about myself, when I started to work towards it, the emotional journey, I started to realize that I was also getting different kind of work now. I was approached for many different kinds of web series or movies, and it just made me realize that people also see the change I brought to myself, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. People saw that I can explore more as an actor. They have seen me on screen for more than 13, 14 years now. And even then, when I'm approached for very different characters, it just, I have these doubts sometimes that why do they think I can pull this off? But they are so sure about it. And that gives me the confidence to continue, loving myself, continue believing in myself.
Absolutely. And you are basically an aspiration for so many people. Your story is an aspiration because you started off as a child artist and you're still as relevant and as successful as you were as a kid, right? And
Thank
that's
you.
not very common. Um, did you come across jealousy then? Because a lot of kids would love to see themselves on TV, right? And as kids, we don't understand the complexities of the job and everything else.
uh, Not jealousy, but everybody wanted to know more about me.
Hmm.
So I definitely had a lot of friends over the years who were just my friends to see what I do, or just to they were just curious. They were just not like real friends. They were just there to get some gossip
Maybe
out of it.
maybe to show off others
But
that, hey, I'm friends with I'm friends with this
of
guy.
course,
Yeah.
that also happened. So I faced a lot of that, but I didn't really get bothered with it because I could see it coming. I was obviously very young but mature at the same time, so I could figure it out, and I let it go. I did not emotionally get attached to people that would break my heart, so I was pretty okay with all of that.
So in this, could you find real friends out of the industry?
Of course,
Hmm.
there are so many friends I have, and I love them, and it's just so amazing to have people from the industry who support you all the time.
Yeah.
Even when I'm not in Mumbai, even when I'm in Hyderabad shooting for some South movie or anything, I have so many of my friends just telling me that how amazing I'm doing, and out of nowhere, and it just feels so amazing.
Yeah, but do you also have to sometimes overcompensate for your success? Because sometimes if somebody has wronged you and you know that they have wronged you, but if you will snap back, it will always, of not always, but many a time it will come across as that she's a star, she's famous, that's why she's behaving like that, she's arrogant. So sometimes do you have to not um basically sometimes you have to take more bullshit because you know that if you snap back or stand up for yourself, that might be misconstrued and be termed as arrogance or too much pride.
So I keep my life pretty simple. I do
Hmm.
not like pretending or doing something that I don't want to. So I end up doing exactly what I want to. So I haven't faced that, like you mentioned, but at the same time, I am overly patient as a person, as a personality. So I tend to take more bullshit, even if the actor or the fame part doesn't come in my mind. It's just me. I do that. I forgive people very easily, and that's just me.
That's a
So
wonderful thing,
all
right?
of that,
Because you are at peace at the
yeah,
end
it
of,
is.
huh? Yeah.
And because I do that, I really think that I am very happy. That makes me very happy because I'm not holding grudges, I'm not holding anything against anybody, and it's just so easy to live life like that.
Yeah. So when I was coming up with the research and all, so I found out that you also worked in Pathshala with Shahid Kapoor. Um, but in your career, that might be your first failure as an actor, because whatever you did before that came like like got good TRP, you got success, but that was probably your first failure. Although you did not play the lead, but you were an important character. How did you deal with that? Because the first hits differently, right?
So I wasn't even an important character. If you watch the movie, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah,
there
yeah.
for one scene. And
Still,
I think it was one of my biggest achievements to get an opportunity to work with such amazing actors, including Shahid Kapoor, Aisha Takya, Nana Patekar. I mean, and it was, I think, my first movie as a
yeah.
child actor, and I I really, I can't even tell you how excited I was with the whole thing and it releasing and all of that. So I think it was a big achievement for me. Talking about the film doing well or no, I don't think at that age I even knew any of it. I didn't bother about any of that. I was just having fun with the work I was doing. So
Right.
for me, the flop or hit really didn't make any difference there because I was really happy with the fact that I got to work with Shahid Kapoor. So it didn't matter.
Have you ever felt burnt out because you have been doing this for so long?
Not burnt out, but I think audience might end up thinking that I might be, doing the same stuff all over again. That is the reason I took like a proper break from TV and I have been doing South movies now. I don't want audience to think that I can only do this. I have so much more to, show and explore. And I am
Mm.
at this age where I have a lot of opportunities coming my way. People also approach me for college going characters, and at the same time, they also approach me for a cop character. So my age is helping me right now to get different kinds of characters. So I want people to see the different shades and like that. And I think that happens once you do movies, because uh, TV has this thing: you have to do one character for a long period of time, and in movies you can, after every 3-4 months you're changing characters, you're showing, showcasing different characters. So I think that is what was the intention behind getting into movies.
Right, right. Are you learning the language now? Are you fluent?
Telugu, I understand very well. I just
Yeah,
don't speak. I mean, I don't conversate in Telugu, but when the dialogues, come my way, I can definitely memorize and speak properly.
that's amazing. Harnas Sandhu, Harnas Sandhu won Miss Universe this year. And you also had a dream of participating in Miss India and Miss Universe. And I was thinking it could have been you. So
It could
why
have
didn't
been,
you, but
it
why
could
didn't you
definitely have
participate?
been me.
Yeah,
Because I think I have bigger dreams now. I want to judge all of this now.
really? Like,
Yeah, why not?
okay, judge. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I got it in a different way. Like, judge as in, like, you are not in support of beauty pageants. I thought that
Oh,
way you
no,
were
no, no.
saying.
I am
Oh,
definitely in support of it, because I see a lot of successful people coming out of it. I like to see different kinds of personalities, and there's a lot of women empowerment that happens because of these pageants. And I would love to judge one of those one day rather than just
I'm sure
participating.
you will. I'm sure you will. So talking about your films, tell us about your upcoming movies. And last question, what's the difference between living in Mumbai and Hyderabad?
Ah, so for me, Hyderabad has become more peaceful,
Yeah,
less crowd. But other than that, I find no difference. I have friends there, I have friends here, and it's just amazing to see both the industries loving me so much. I get so much of support from Mumbai television or Bollywood, and even in Tollywood. So it's just, I mean, for me, it's very similar. I love being, at both the places, and I think I've fallen in love with Hyderabad way too much, and that's why I can, easily say it's as good as Mumbai. Otherwise, people who live in Mumbai don't really feel that about any other city, but I do feel that
absolutely.
about Hyderabad. About my upcoming projects, there are a lot of Telugu projects coming up. A few of them have been announced with Adi Sai Kumar or Naga Chaitanya and few others.
Yeah.
Sai Ronak. There are a couple of secrets that I really want to reveal. They are like right here, but I cannot. I have to wait. So we'll wait, and I will share all of that very very soon with all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for talking to us. Have a great day ahead, Avika.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Bye.
Bye bye. Take care.